Hey, morning guys. Day 5, week 5, Guildford City Fitness live stream. Thanks for joining in as always, and thanks for sharing results. I know the endurance test isn't easy, but that's kind of the point. We want to see what your limit is so we can use that to guide your training going forward. Warm up number 2 for the last session of the week. So you're going to start off with squat to hip lift. Again, just making sure that your warm up area is nice and clear and you've got a drink to hand and you're ready to go. If you need to make any amendments to the session because of niggles from running or anything else, just either message me afterwards or sub in an exercise that you're happy or comfortable doing that isn't going to cause you any pain. So squat to hip lift, 6 repetitions, a squat, good form, toes to floor, and then straighten your legs whilst maintaining a straight back, and then just drop in and out of that position 6 times. And just see if you can unlock any more range of motion. Even if you have to come a bit higher, see if that has any impact at your hips from the bottom of the squat. I think really important that you keep that straight spine so that it's still the same movement. Then you've got angry cat, happy cat. So you're going to remember to breathe out as much as you can at the top. And then breathing in will give you a bit more range at the bottom. And then at the same time, just pushing down with your hands into the ground. And then sit back to try and get some more range at your lower back if you struggle with range there anyway. Reverse lunge and rotate. So start from the high knee, one knee down to the ground, and then rotate over your lead leg. You can either, so depending on what your preference is, switch from one to the other, or just knock out all the repetitions on one side. It's more like an upright, thread the needle. Just being in that lunge position, lock your hips in place so you can get a bit more reach. And then switch. And just make sure if you keep your hands on your chest, then you don't end up reaching with your hands. So you think you've got pretty far, but you've actually leant and broken form somewhere else. Into then streamline hinge. So back up on your feet, hands overhead and streamline, and then go for an RDL. Just make sure that as you go down, your hands don't drop. So if you get lower and lower, then you start to see your hands, reach back as far as you can, and just hold at the bottom for 2 seconds on each one. So down, 1, 2, and back up. Again, maybe take your time on the way up and just make sure that you've got as much tension on your hamstrings for as long as you can, so you get a bigger improvement and more of the warm-up. Then into floor or wall slides. So feet up from the floor, push your elbows in and down, like you're trying to lift yourself up. As you reach overhead, and just try and push your wrists down. That's pretty good today. And then squeeze at the bottom. If you find that your wrists start to travel, or they go up and down as you reach, don't worry about it. As long as you're keeping it as close as you can, you'll start to improve that range. And then finish off with shoulder rolls. So again, thumbs down, in towards your body, arm in front, extend overhead, turn them out. Repeat that 3 times, and the slower you do it, the more muscular tension you're going to maintain around your shoulder. So you go 3 that way, and then switch it. So keep your thumbs out, turn them in on the way down, make sure that as you do it, you keep your abs tight and your hips tight. It's probably better for you to do it standing, but I just want to make sure I stay in shot. Cool. Then you get 2 1-minute rounds of jogging to finish the warm up, and then we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. So again, remembering that from next week, we're going to start putting more iron elements in the warm-ups. So mix it up just to make sure that you're doing as much as you can within this part of the warm-up. We're halfway through part 1. I need one more round of this afterwards. I'll explain what you're up to today. Three, 2, 1, relax. 10 seconds off, back in. And then 3, 2, 1, go. So as usual, when we do the 2 1-minute rounds, we're going to throw in some high knee sprint bursts. First one's going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. And then again in 3, 2, 1, go. And 3, 2, 1, go. A few more seconds of jogging, and then relax. So, upper body and core strength for part 1. So you'll need a table to do your inverted rows, but that's pretty much it for part 1. And then part 2, same again, just a couple of core holds and some airplanes. So get your table ready for inverted row. Make sure you've got your mat ready. Okay, so streamline crunch, feet on the ground, hands overhead, small stomach. Press up plank march. Wait, no, part 1's dead bug. Whoops. So dead bug on the ground, because it's an exercise, not a warm up. We're going to go with doubles. Keep your lower back on the ground. Into pike press up. So just downward dog. And then push down, sort of like the first half of a Hindu push-up. So from here, head down, and you're pushing yourself backwards diagonally. So you're starting to go from a push-up, which is this direction, trying to get it more akin to a handstand push-up. So you're kind of pushing at that angle, drive your hands forward diagonally, so that you go backwards. Inverted row, obviously with table underneath, and then Superman plank. So that'll be one hand on the ground, one foot on the ground, trying to hold this position. So, last chance for a drink before we get going. So start off with dead bugs. In 3, 2, 1, go. So main focus, always lower back on ground. And if you want more out of this exercise, you can also turn it into an elect now like we've done during the week. So a little bit of weight on your shins, a little bit of weight overhead. So electing is basically just a weighted dead bug. Find some holds at the bottom, so out, wait for a second, back up. Just really emphasize making sure that no daylight gets between your lower back and the floor. And do that and make sure you pull the bones in the front of your hip up towards your head. And then relax. Into pike push-up. Or press up. I know I keep using them interchangeably on the sheets, but you know what I mean. And 3, 2, 1, go. So strong pike position. You push your hands away diagonally, feet down to the ground. Really important that as you get tired, you don't start to let it turn into a normal looking push-up. 15 seconds left. So your torso has to stay in a straight line to your hip, and it's going diagonally. It's almost like you're dive bombing down that way. So here, and make sure your elbows always face behind you, relax. So again, cardinal sin, going down, elbows out to the side. Inverted row, grab your table. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Some of you should be at a point now where you can start trying to elevate your feet. So if you haven't gone straight leg, put your feet on an elevated surface, even though it's just a buck or two. So you are literally pulling up your whole body weight. 10 seconds left. Pause at the top if you can. And then relax. And finish off the round with Superman plank. Three, 2, 1, go. So if you want to find an anchor for your foot, makes it a bit easier. See if I'm still in shot. There. Couple of seconds hold. Stop, relax. Try and build it up. Then switch sides. Genuinely the best way to build it up to doing 20 seconds all on one side. You can get a really solid technical position. Relax. So even if you start on 2, you build up to 5-second bursts. With a little rest, that's almost more like a 15-second. Like anyway. 30 seconds off, back into dead bug. Just with that Superman, make sure you're driving, actively pushing your foot down and your hands. If you've got something going on at your shoulder and hip, it becomes a lot easier to stay stable. 5 seconds and back into dead bug. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. And the more control you exert, the more benefit you get. So if you go out slow, and then back up slow as well, and you're probably going to struggle to do more than 10 really good reps. Ten seconds left. 2, 1, relax. Into push up again. It's good. Remember, head and hands make a triangle, elbows stay behind you. 3, 2, 1, go. The closer you can get your feet So you might be limited by hamstring and calf flexibility, but the more upside down you can get, the better. So as long as your head is between your arms, and it pretty much looks like my arms are in the same position as a normal push-up, but if your torso is more inclined, you get a lot more from it. Relax. Then into inverted rows, round 2. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. And deep breath at the bottom, breathe in, hold your core, elbows tucked into your sides, and try and hold the top position. If you go toes off the ground and use your hips, it keeps this a lot more controlled, makes it easier to pull. And imagine dragging the table down towards you. And relax. Which doesn't seem like much difference, but just that change in focus might give you a change in result. So again, instead of pulling you up to the table, pull it down to you. And then Superman plank. Let's go. So again, using that wall as an anchor. Relax. Switch sides. If you keep the other hand like kind of close to you, it becomes a bit easier to control. 2, 1, go. Nope. Three, 2, 1. Relax. Okay, kind of hard to explain if you haven't managed to do it before, but pushing your foot and pushing your hand just it tightens the chain up, so everything from your hand to your foot's a bit more organised. Works together. 15 more seconds, and we'll start round 3 of part 1. So back into dead bugs. In 5, 2, 1, go. So if you do have suspicious clicking in your hips from doing these, but it doesn't hurt you, and it doesn't bother you doing stretching, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But again, I'm not a physiotherapist, so if it does concern you, maybe get a more informed opinion. But for me, I'm only mentioning it in case you can hear it because it feels quite loud. Relax. It's only this bit of the movement. Doesn't bother me during running or skipping or jumping or anything else like that. Into pike press ups. 2, 1, go. So again, if you want to progress this, you can always go with feet elevated. Then this table's a little bit high. We can always use the door, so table's going to be in the way. But this position here, feet elevated up. You can see it's a lot harder. Build yourself up gradually and try and make sure the closer you get your feet, the more it's going to replicate that kind of movement anyway. So relax. Inverted row. Again, even if it's not specific on your triceps, for example, there's dips, but you're upside down, your shoulders work a lot harder, your body has to communicate a lot better. So inverted row in 2, 1, go.
If you start to get tired, do less repetitions, but go a lot slower on the way down. So sort of firing off reps. Try and get a 5-second descent. And pull before you hit the floor. 3, 2, 1, relax. And finish off with Superman plank. In 3, 2, 1, go. Relax. That's a lot easier when you get the anchor right. So flat, stable surface, push your heel into it, swap sides. Three, 2, 1, relax. It's a 1.5-minute break. End of part 1. Make sure you've got a drink handy. And then part 2 is movement skills, so it should be a little bit easier, but still quite a bit of core focus. Doing any equipment. So you've got a streamline crunch, press up plank march, flutter kick and aeroplane. So table out the way. Quick drink. So the idea is you're trying to make the airplanes that much harder by doing a bunch of extra core work beforehand. So you have 30 seconds left on the rest. So you go streamline crunch, hands around, feet on the ground. Ball your abs up tight, small as you can. Press up plank march. So again, alternating feet off the ground with that hips moving. Flutter kicks, roll over onto your back. Again, try and maintain lower back on the floor. And then airplanes up, use the wall, trying to achieve that single leg RDL position, but be able to twist your hips up without falling over. So streamline crunch, grab a last bit of drink. In 3, 2, 1, go. So ideally with this position, your hands and elbows should never come in front of your face. So if you do it slowly, it's like your abs are pulling you up and holding. If you use your arms and get to the top and hold it, you won't gain as much benefit because of the sequence of muscle action. So in other words, it's your abs that start the movement on their own. Like that. 2, 1, relax. Press up plank march. Three, 2, 1, go. Let me hold this position here. And if you find that your feet slip, you can always use some anchoring from the wall. The heels are touching. You want to make sure that your heel doesn't come any higher than your hip. So as you march, just literally take your toe off the floor, not a wild kick, then relax. So flutter kick, roll over, up to you how you want to hold the tempo of the kick. As long as your legs are moving and your lower back is pushed down, it'll get the job done. 2, 1, go. As soon as your back changes and you want to try and hold that, just relax for 3 seconds. If it keeps happening, bring your legs closer and just switch one leg above the other. So as a technical drill, you could probably do this with the right tempo and fluidity of movement in your legs. But for a core exercise, all about how much work's been done here. So the leg position looks nothing like a flutter kick here. Relax. But my legs are trying to do this while this stays engaged. Then aeroplane. So 2, 1, go. So 20 seconds one side. And hold this position. Hips up. So hopefully you get to a point we can do 20 seconds just down here without relaxing. Stop there. So again, it's all balance practice, even if it's not specifically hip conditioning. You put your arm out in front of you. I find that a little bit easier. Got about twice as much range on the side. And stop. So quick 30-second break. Again, the aeroplanes. If you keep your top arm close to your body, it becomes easier to control and rotate. The more weight you've got away from your center of mass, the harder it is to control. So back in 10 seconds with the streamline crunch. In 3, 2, 1, go. So, you'll always get a lot more from these kinds of exercises by squeezing maximally. If you fire at reps, you don't get as much muscular contraction because as soon as you're working, you're relaxing. Stop there. It's much better to go up explosively, quick as you can, and then hold for longer. It's a press up plank march. In 2, 1, go. Same deal with the hands though, so even though you're in this position, you're going to actively push your wrists down like you're locking at the top of a push-up. And that little change in focus is going to have a big impact. It should become a lot simpler, a lot easier than if you just use them as supports. Okay, and then relax. Some people might do it instinctively, but if you find you're struggling, try and focus on that push down, it might become a lot easier. It's a flutter kick. In 3, 2, 1, go. And stop. Might be tempting to lift your shoulders up. If you do that, you get a lot more work done here. So just be aware, it's a lot harder. So if your time changes, it's not a big deal. It's just a change in technique. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and stop. And then finish off with airplane. 5 seconds. Again, try and spend as much time in that bottom position as you can. 2, 1, go. So right side does not enjoy this. That's the point. So I keep my right arm in line with my foot, left arm on my side. This becomes a lot simpler. And control the fold. So don't just think about pushing up. Okay, switch sides. Use walls for support. So it takes a lot of articulation around the hip joint here. And then relax. So it's only 2 reps, but because I'm doing it slow and controlling the movement, it's more like 20 seconds of hip stability work and core control. So it's not the kind of thing where you want to fire out lots of repetitions, because then your motor control and balance doesn't improve as much. Whenever you try and do anything balance based, it's going to improve your vestibular system, gives you more confidence in weird positions. So all the things we're doing in terms of like trying to go upside down, doing these things will start to help unlock range of motion at the hip, but also improve your ability to learn new skills and change techniques. Last round. So streamline crunch. 2, 1, go. And hold it up, come up fast, sit down and slow. 2, 1. Small as you can. Hold that top position. 5, 2, 1, relax. So once you get to a certain point on that drop, you might find more of the effort comes from under your ribs. You want to make sure you're still trying to get a lot of activation below your belly button as well. Press a plank march in 2, 1, go. If you try and maintain a consistent tempo as well, so when your legs come up, you got 2 seconds each side. 2, 1, 2. Try and minimize the amount of time you're on 2 feet. 10 seconds left. Keep pushing your hands down. 2, 1. Relax into flutter kick. In 3, 2, 1, go. So to echo the point I made a second ago, if you're doing flutter kick and you lift your shoulders up, you start to use a lot more of the muscles below your ribs. If you stay low, it becomes easier to focus on the ones above your belly, below your belly button, sorry. And if you look down with your shoulders on the ground, it's just going to strain your neck. 15 seconds. 5 left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Airplane to finish off the session. In 3, 2, 1, go. So a little trick that I've been using, if you literally push on your hip bone, give it some direction, and then pull it down, it becomes easier to control. Switch sides. I'm going to do it this way to check the TV, so I'm not doing it wrong. Because my arm is out to the side. So again, keep everything in tight. And once you find some new range, the longer you stay there, the more confident you'll get in it. So if you go up to that new point, hold it for at least 3 seconds, you start to memorize that motor pattern and it'll like fall into place. So leave that there, grab a drink before we start the cool down. After that, I'll go through the 3 days of challenges we have. I think one of them is more about fun than a challenge though. Start with quads. But again, since I've got the roller, I may as well use it. No, it's not there. It's in the cupboard. Next time. Just 30 seconds, really feeling that today after 2 days of aerobic and lower body conditioning. The switch. This one you could do lying on the ground because your breathing rate won't be quite as high as it has been. And you try and aim. So from here, if you were on the floor, all of this is organised. And then you try and lift your knee back a bit if you get it high off the floor. Because at least if you're on the ground and that's touching, you know, you're not going to arch and relax. Into hamstrings. So, straight leg raise today. So, opposite leg is straight. If you do hold the back of your knee, it becomes a lot easier to make it look like it's right. Switch sides. So if you're doing it right, 30 seconds, you'll only get about 4 or 5 reps done here. Oh man. It was much better at the start of the week. But again, you can almost use that as a marker of recovery. So if that's not doing anything, feels tighter than normal, change it up. So from here, try and pull your belly button towards your heel. Relax. Hip stretch. It's actually a pretty brutal quad pun as well. If you've ever seen this, if you have lots of cushion. Again, very quad dominant, not very hip. So if you leave your ankle alone and drive forward here, you should feel it just below that bone. Relax. Again, if you can't find that bone, it's free hand. It's easy, just put your flat hand on the front of your pelvis. It's the only one that'll stick out. Other side. And core control. So if you go here and switch off, there's no interaction going on between those muscles there. So if you keep this tight, you start unlocking range of motion with an engaged trunk. Stop into lats. So again, it is possible to use the wall if you haven't got a surface or a table. This is new and I'm feeling the same now. Just takes a bit more concentration. It's almost like as I'm leaning to the side, push your hips forward so you're going at the wall. And switch, turn your hips off. Try and lift your shoulder up, just so. Again, you'll feel it more around here, but whichever part of your body you're using to increase that distance between shoulder and hip where your lats attach onto is where you get more stretch. So again, a lot of people after hard sets will feel more tension around here,
but it's quite important for you to recognise whether it's shoulder or whether it's your lat. Because when you get tired, your rotator cuff stops doing its job as well, and lats have to take over shoulder stability instead of pulling. So that will then change how you should be trying to address that in your cool down. On to chest, finish off. Can do it kneeling, because why not? You just make sure that you practice doing a couple of seconds, so do like one round of stretch, relax off, and squeeze. Best thing for chest actually, if you do the stretch, put your hands together, and then try and, with your hands there, pull your elbows across your body. So it's almost like they're doing this, and then you keep pushing, and you'll start to relax. So you're going to squeeze your chest quite hard, relax a little bit, and then see if the chest stretch feels any easier. It might not straight away, it takes a bit of time to get used to it. But again, it's another tool in your toolbox. Try and unlock some more range of motion, improve your recovery rate. Then neck, so if you haven't done ankle and neck for a while, you could keep revising until everyone's confident with it. Organised hips and core. Head down to one side, make sure you're in a straight line from the side view. Encourage your head down and just breathe. If you want to test it then, turn your nose off to the side, and you should hopefully be able to get your nose over the top of your shoulder bone. That's something to aim for anyway. That's going to do it with the cool down. Session challenges. So today's one is all about trying to improve your handstands, or walking handstands, or headstands if you haven't got that far yet. 30 minutes, start the clock. But again, that includes like looking at videos, asking questions, doing, maybe doing a couple of pike push-ups to warm yourself up, and then trying the wall stand that we've gone over this week. Any amount of time, you're just going to dedicate 30 minutes today to trying to improve your athleticism and learn a new skill that you can do. And for the most part, that just, for some of you, means being confident upside down. But I keep talking about it. The more confident you get in positions your body considers weird, the easier it becomes to learn new skills. Essentially, not to overcomplicate it, just have a go with 30 minutes on that. And then tomorrow's challenge, you've then got volume for time. So 100 pull-ups or rows, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and a 1 mile run, in that order. So even if it takes you, one person said it took them 15 minutes to get the pull-ups and rows done, that's fine. Because again, you did that last week, see how much improvement you've had this week. And then just log your final time. Break it up into elements if you want. So one time, just see how long you spend on each one, and then probably the 1 mile run you'll want to know on its own anyway. But the actual challenge score is the whole thing in one go. And then Sunday, you've got another endurance test, left side plank, right side plank and forearm. And very deliberately, you need to do it in that order, because a lot of you will nail the forearm plank. So some of the scores we were getting, if you did forearm first, you get an amazing score than a rubbish side plank. We know that the side planks aren't going to be as good as your forearm, but that's the point. You're going to challenge your shoulder stability, because shoulder stability is a really important quality for a swimmer to have anyway. So if you blow that out, you see there's a difference between your sides, you can work on that in your land training, and then if your forearm plank time suffers because of it, that's again, we can address that differently. So you don't have to worry about the ego of having an amazing forearm and then rubbish sides. They're all important. They're all going to be as good as they can be. No talks to go over, so that is it. Well done for a week, well done. We'll see you on Monday. From everyone at Guildford, we have an amazing weekend. Thanks for watching.